Greetings, welcome to the latest of my deep dive videos. Today I'm going to explore the Capricorn Full Moon, which occurs across the 10th or the 11th of July and at 18 degrees and 50 minutes. The Capricorn Full Moon is particularly powerful because the moon is in detriment. It's the weakest part of its journey. Now this year, on the other side of the heavens, along with the sun in Cancer, which is ruled of course by the moon, is the exuberant energies of Jupiter. And Jupiter of course is exalted in the sign of Cancer. So that combination, together with an energetic link to Mars, is asking us to be practical about our need for protection, our need for security, but also to try to ascend to a higher vibration of understanding about what makes us feel safe. Now, the moon in Capricorn can be much more practical. It's much more concerned with the protectiveness from a physical domain. So the word that comes up for me for this year's event is dilemmas. The dilemma between sticking with what we know and feels safe and may give us a degree of physical security, but it's important to make sure that we're not starving our soul energy. I'm going to unpack all of this for you. This event is also known as a buck moon in native Indian culture. I'm going to share with you the event chart from a solar perspective that we can all collectively relate to in terms of the overall zodiac, but also I'm going to relate to you the event chart from a Placidus viewpoint based on the prime meridian, Greenwich and universal time, because I feel we can all feed into that wherever we are in the world. And interestingly, the ascendant on that chart is in Capricorn. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. A very warm welcome. All your views and interactions are truly appreciated. If you've yet to subscribe to the channel, please help it to thrive and do so now, as we have found that 50% of people who regularly watch my videos are not subscribers. If you would like to talk to me one-to-one, please check out my testimonials below. Also, please visit patrickarundell.com. It's jam-packed full of celestial goodies, and you can sign up for your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning. Download your sensational free natal chart, which has got a fantastic interpretation linked to it. But also you can enjoy my three-card tarot, which really, if I say so myself, is fantastic. That's at patrickarundell.com. Just briefly, if you would like to order your year 26 personal forecast, your transits now, I will give you the rest of this year free, 30% off, and your life roadmap report. Totally unique to each person it's produced for. Please see the link below for more. So Capricorn is a sign which is to do with culmination, but in the physical plane. It's the 10th zodiac sign, it's Earth, it's cardinal in terms of its quality, its ruler is the stern, cool Saturn. So it's very much about where we put the application in and the perspiration, but it can also be where we want to achieve some status or recognition in the physical world. That can come from the size of the car we drive, the property we live in, it could be the holidays we go on. But it's important when we're reaching into ourselves to achieve those things that we're not distancing ourselves from our true deeper purpose. And that's what the dilemma can be on this year's particular event, because at 18 degrees and 50 it's in the second decan of the sign of Capricorn, which is sub-ruled by Venus. Venus can be about money, but of course it can be about relationships, but it also can be about things like style, presentation, fashion, but in some ways, particularly through its rulership of the sign of Libra, can be to do with how we feel we're perceived. So it's important to check out, with Capricorn in detriment, with all this information as a backdrop, whether we're on the right track or not. I'm going to go through the two event charts, but then At the end of the video, I will go through each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces, which you can relate to in terms of your ascendant, sun or the moon. But on the screen now, I'm showing the exact timings in all the major cities of the world. So Capricorn Moon can still feel things very deeply. People who have it in their natal charts can run on the shy side when they're younger, and the expectations of their parents, particularly the mother, can be quite strong. And that can make people a little bit reticent in sharing how they feel. And of course, the sign of Cancer is about feelings. But Cancer can be also quite canny about opening up, will be very aware of the environment, who's around, won't necessarily just gush things out, although Jupiter being in the mix does push a more flamboyant dimension into the situation. So if you are someone who's got emotions that are building up within you, and you do find that it's not so easy to share them, the next 2 weeks, which is the backdrop for the full moon, is an opportunity to try to align and find a balance, particularly if you are feeling the pressure coming up within you, because I feel full moons can be incredibly powerful. Essentially, the moon and the sun are in competition. They have different energies. The sun's about assertion, the moon's about receptiveness. So as they're competing, which will get the upper hand? So if you're someone who tends to be a little bit reluctant to seek other people's support, just be conscious that bottling things up is really not a great thing to do. So whether it's reaching out for some information online, or calling someone, or sharing with a trusted confidant, that's really going to be a wise thing to do. But the other thing is, with the desire for inner harmony, if we feel that we're disconnected to our emotions because we're so caught up in that material push, this is something else for us to be mindful of. And also, relationships with other people can be strained if one person is more in the practical dimension and the other is more available for the emotional sharing. So those are the backdrop energies. Let's just think about this event in terms of the event chart solar. So this represents the zodiac as a whole, starting at 0 degrees, the vernal point in the sign of Aries. So there's the sun, 1850 in the sign of Cancer, and the moon at the top of the chart in Capricorn, 1850 there. But the big takeout on this event is the North Node, the point of destiny, at 20 degrees and 8 in Pisces. And remember, Earth carries water. So although the moon and the sun are in opposition, what we have with the North Node is priming us to follow our instincts. So the dilemmas that we could have: do I speak out against the family member who tends to be quite dominant and maybe controlling? Should I look for another job even though the pay I get in this one is very good, it has some status attached to it, but I really don't like the organisation I work for? Another dilemma. Should I start up my own enterprise? I've got a brilliant business idea, but I'm concerned that I won't be able to bring enough money in to pay the bills. A further dilemma. So those kind of dilemmas, for all of us, we can tune into the energy of the North Node and let it draw us to where we need to be. And if we're open to that, it can be very powerful. And in some ways, I feel the North Node does mitigate some of the more challenging energies of this particular full moon. I also want to be conscious of the ruler of the sign of Capricorn, which is Saturn. And Saturn is in that conjunction with Neptune. If you have been feeling low on physical vitality, or just rather drained, or even a bit dispirited at times, it wouldn't be a surprise since Saturn joined up with Neptune on the 25th of May, but particularly since Neptune began its retrograde. But they are in a very constructive angle to the newly arrived Uranus in the sign of Gemini. So Uranus has gone back to that sign, which it left in 1946 for the last time, and it's an exciting opportunity to think about how we express our ideas. So if there is something that you feel has got some substance, Saturn, it's new, it's fresh, but you want to tell people about it, even though the full moon's asking you to balance the need for emotional, spiritual sustenance and support with the practical ambitions that you may have, I wouldn't dismiss it just because it's a full moon. So on the screen now is the natal event chart with the ascendant just under 28 degrees in the sign of Capricorn, and you can see in a conjunction with Pluto. What we're seeing in the world itself is a big shift around how business is done, and obviously Uranus is going to affect that even more through technology, robotics, automation and AI, and science generally. These things are coming at a pace. And therefore some of the big corporations and industries that used to be very powerful are in some ways changing. So retail shopping centres, for example, certainly in the UK, and I have read to some degree in the US, are coming under pressure because of online sellers. But you can see that the moon in this event chart is in the 12th house, which adds an extra layer of sensitivity and perhaps even insecurity. If we look at the sun, it's in the practical 6th house. And what the energy of Cancer is also inclined to do is just remind us of the need to try to be a little more cautious. So Cancer people don't necessarily dive into situations without a great deal of consideration, but being conscious of how things feel and making sure that our physical realm in terms of our health, fitness, exercise, sleep, nutrition, and also hydration, all very important with the 6th, 12th house opposition. So if we are feeling the strain of maintaining that worldly interaction, which comes through the sign of Capricorn, is having an impact on our well-being, the sun in the 6th house, this next 2 weeks is a great opportunity to try to change things. And with the North Node in the 1st house, our bodies, how we initiate things, we can take the steps to change things in a constructive way, because the North Node is in a sextile to the moon, but a wonderful trine to the sun. So we have opportunities. We do have Saturn and Neptune still in that wonderful sextile with Uranus, but they're asking us to really think about, in particular, I think, as far as this event is concerned, about the things that we perhaps consume that may in some ways have been altered. So purity is in some ways compromised, because having the moon in the 12th house will make all of us collectively a lot more sensitive to what we eat and drink. So the purity that can come from the sun in the 6th house is really important, especially with Saturn and Neptune continuing that very intense conjunction right through to the end of August, the 1st of September, before Saturn inverts back into Pisces. So looking after ourselves is very important. If you do find yourself with a big dilemma, I'm going to try and help you to understand what to do for each of the 12 zodiac signs. But I would say, if you are a cardinal sign, so that means Aries, Cancer, Libra or Capricorn, and you have planetary degrees between 15 and 21, you're going to feel this event more keenly because that's on your angles. Please stay with me as I go through each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces. So Aries, as Saturn has made its way through your 12th house, over the last couple of years before moving into your sign on the 25th of May, and particularly earlier this year when he was in a conjunction with Venus, you may have found out a lot about who you could rely upon, whether it has been professionally, personally, or in a close romantic situation. You may have also found yourself very nostalgic. But I think since Saturn moved to join Neptune in your sign, but more recently with Uranus and Venus moving into a much quicker part of your chart, things have started to seem very bright and a lot more effervescent. And the great news is that your ruler Mars is also giving you more stamina, because Saturn and Neptune being together does mean that energy for all of us is at a premium. So we need to use what we've got carefully. So if you're thinking about moving, for example, which is possible with this particular full moon, do factor in that your thinking at the moment can be very open-minded, very visionary, but also your enthusiasm could be infectious. But sometimes the best people to interact with, if we're thinking about a big change, are not necessarily those people who understand exactly where we're coming from. So if you do have a conversation with someone who's quite experienced, more worldly, perhaps done some of the things you're contemplating, I feel that will be something you can do to protect yourself. It could also be you, to be honest, who's acting as the spirit guide to someone who wants to start their own enterprise, move to another country, something quite dramatic. Your knowledge and experience can definitely come to the fore. But if you are working in a job which is dull, doesn't stimulate your mind, but also the atmosphere is not great, I feel you could find yourself actively looking for a new opportunity over the next 2 weeks. And I wouldn't dismiss maybe doing some kind of flexible working, or even working from home or for yourself, because Uranus round to the 8th of November can see you generate lots of brilliant ideas about how to do things differently in a fresh but also remunerative way. Please join me at my new website at patrickarundell.com. You can download your amazing free natal chart and brilliant interpretation. You can enjoy the 3 card tarot. You can also sign up for your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning. Please see the link below for more. So Taurus, we need to be conscious of your ruler Venus. And Venus is very close to Uranus, but also they're both angling backwards to Pluto, moving through the part of your situation which can transform your work, your connection to the world. Very Capricornian energies. And one of the ways you can explore the opportunity on the back of this particular year's full moon is by gaining as much information as is possible. But I want you to know your enthusiasm at the moment, which comes from Mars, will be absolutely fantastic. Your openness to fresh ideas will be very strong, Uranus and Venus. But also the North Node for you is in a part of your situation to do with your higher values, your long-term hopes, but also your connections to other people. Because ever since Neptune and Saturn moved into your 12th house, you may have gone through a pretty tough period over the last few months, really soul searching about who's really there for you or not. And if there is something still you need to free yourself from, the energy of the moon in the 9th house is pushing you not to be constrained by the caution that Capricorn can create. So sometimes we have to have the courage of our convictions. And also it may be that the thing you're thinking of experimenting with may be around how to earn money, because Venus in the 2nd house of your situation with the electric energies of Uranus there could give you a lot of nudges to be as enterprising as possible. So I want to reassure you, if you're thinking or discussing doing something different or daring or liberating or freeing yourself from a situation which is no longer working, even if you're a little bit fearful of giving up what you've got at the present time, totally understandable, what I would say to you is that energy of Mars can be so helpful because your innate enthusiasm and passion is going to be very hard to resist. So whether you're thinking about going on a trip around the world, a backpacking tour, whether you're contemplating moving to another country to work, or even living or moving somewhere completely different nearer to where you are, trying some new strategies in terms of learning, whether it's professional courses or academic courses, be as open as possible, particularly over this next 2 weeks, but especially if at any level you're feeling somewhat trapped or unfulfilled. Please join me at my new website at patrickarundell.com. You can download your amazing free natal chart and brilliant interpretation. You can enjoy the 3 card tarot. You can also sign up for your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning. Please see the link below for more. So Gemini, with Jupiter, the planet of fortune, in the same part of your chart as the Sun in Cancer, your hopes to improve the foundational parts of your security and everyday income, probably high through to the end of June next year. Also, now you have Uranus, the planet of electric innovation, applying to Venus in your sign. You could really be excited by some of the ideas you're generating. So what's the implication of the moon in Capricorn? Well, the 8th house for you is where we connect to someone else. Now that can just be who we choose to bank with. It could be to do with a business partnership. It may be to do with a close emotional, spiritual or romantic relationship. But it's very much where we're all in, but it can be also where we transform but can also leave. So it's the part of the horoscope which is very much to do with deep change. And the moon in the 8th house can also be very psychological. And Capricorn, of course, can be very cautious. So if there is something around a financial issue that's a little bit out of kilter, the chances are you will have to look at it over the next couple of weeks. But it does still, this year, I feel, have some significant opportunities, not least because that point of destiny, the North Node, is just in that part of your situation which can give you the instincts to know which way the trends are heading when it comes to your business or financial hopes. But also because Saturn and Neptune are in a very constructive alliance to Uranus but also Pluto, it's possible the ideas that you're generating are connecting well to people, and other people may be keen to support. For example, it could be through a loan, it may be through some kind of enterprise idea you've got, and that's very encouraging indeed. But you also need to feel comfortable with whatever you're considering. So if you're an entrepreneurial type of Gemini, you would like to do something a bit more daring, this particular full moon is saying just be conscious of the risks, because you could get very caught up in terms of the excitement with Uranus and Venus. But at the same time, if you can enthuse people with the brilliance of your ideas, and they also feel that your ideas stack up in a credible way, this may be a fortnight when you could get some significant assistance or encouragement. Please join me at my new website at patrickarundell.com. You can download your amazing free natal chart and brilliant interpretation. You can enjoy the 3 card tarot. You can also sign up for your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning. Please see the link below for more. So Cancer, you know better than any other sign that full moons can create a lot of energetic turbulence. Things can feel intense. We have a lot of light in the sky. It's more difficult to switch off and to sleep. But also for you, you could find yourself asking yourself some questions about some of your aims, and the things you've been most invested in, particularly recently, are truly serving your purpose. So there could be a little bit of check-in, particularly as Uranus, the planet of of electric energy, but of higher truths, is connecting to Venus in your 12th house. So around a relationship, if you're not completely sure about what to do, it's possible over the next couple of weeks that quite a lot of information is going to come up which could give you a lot of food for thought. It's also the case that in ongoing relationships, someone may find or has found more recently that your busyness, perhaps with work or the things that are demanding most of your time, means that they're not spending quite as much with you. And even if they're broadly understanding of what you're trying to do, it is having an impact, and that can also see you thinking, what do I really want? Because when the Sun and particularly Jupiter are in your sign, the potential to be very enterprising is enormous. But it just happens for you that Saturn and Neptune are in a very, very specific part of your chart, and they can ask questions, particularly also when Saturn goes retrograde in a few days' time, because that's going to see you more in touch with some of the expectations people have and how that impacts on your free time, but also your ability to be a free spirit. So whatever you're doing at the moment around relationships, someone could surprise you with a revelation. It may mean that you have your own doubts of whether you're on the right track. If you're not particularly enjoying a job, that's going to become more of an issue. But if you've been so busy that some people that are really fond of you can't remember the last time they spoke to you, this is certainly a 2-week period to try to redress and try to find a better alignment. The great news is that with the North Node in your 9th house, that's giving you the nudge to get in touch with the highest vibration possible of what you should really be doing. And Mars in the sign of Virgo gives you the push to have the confidence to say what you want. Please join me at my new website at patrickarundell.com. You can download your amazing free natal chart and brilliant interpretation. You can enjoy the 3 card tarot. You can also sign up for your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning. Please see the link below for more. So Leo, the Capricorn full moon each year just gives you a nudge to ensure that your devotion to the good causes or people that you care about, your virtue, is not starving you at the moments to rest and relax, which is what the Sun in Cancer is asking you to do, ready for when the Sun makes its grand entrance into your sign on the 22nd of July. This year you also have Jupiter in your 12th house. If you are finding a growing interest in anything to do with healing and natural therapies, it wouldn't be a surprise. You may be gaining more and more knowledge and insights. And all of that can be brilliant for the 6th house where the moon is, because the small but important changes that you make can actually be very good for your inner world as much as your physical being. But also because Uranus and Venus are in a very playful and sociable part of your scope, it may be difficult to keep all of the people happy all the time. So do expect some invitations over the next fortnight, and those invitations may be a little bit of a test for you if you are wanting to keep things, very much in trim and trying to get the early nights, trying to really be mindful of preserving what energy you've got. But other people will just feed into your energy and experience you, not least because Mercury in your sign, if you are having conversations, Mercury in your sign, that's broadly in a great link with Venus, people are aware of your charisma. So you may have to just be a little firmer on your boundaries. And those boundaries could also involve who does and contributes what in terms of the domestic load. So if you're someone who tends to do a lot uncomplainingly, why not delegate? Or if at work you're someone who also pitches in and tends to be very conscientious, just nudge another person to do their bit too. Please join me at my new website at patrickarundell.com. You can download your amazing free natal chart and brilliant interpretation. You can enjoy the 3 card tarot. You can also sign up for your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning. Please see the link below for more. So Virgo, the Sun and Jupiter are in a very sociable, interactive part of your scope, but the Moon in Capricorn has asked you to think a little bit more seriously about whether some of the things you're really into personally have been pushed slightly to one side in order to just connect, meet up and stay in the social world. And with Mars in Virgo giving you a lot of push, a lot of extra energy and enthusiasm, this 2-week period is a full moon which actually can work extraordinarily well for you. And especially if you're open to changing what you do for your work. Of course, because of the combination of Uranus and also Venus linking back to Pluto, which has been nudging you slowly but surely over the last 2 or 3 years to contemplate some kind of change or evolution. So you may find that setting a few boundaries is important in the next fortnight, and particularly if there is a hobby, a talent, an interest, or a person that you'd like to spend time with or on that is getting a little bit blunted just by the needs of your wider social circle. But if ever there was a time to convert a full moon into something really positive, it's this year's event. Please join me at my new website at patrickarundell.com. You can download your amazing free natal chart and brilliant interpretation. You can enjoy the 3 card tarot. You can also sign up for your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning. Please see the link below for more. So Libra, the Sun and Jupiter are high in the sky in your 10th solar house, pushing you to have enthusiasm, self-belief and confidence about where you want to make your mark in the wider world. Now for many people that is through their work, but not necessarily always. Could be through hobbies, maybe a talent you have. Maybe it is to do with being a leader of some kind, maybe in your local community. What the moon position in Capricorn just reminds you that if you have been so caught up in pushing towards those goals that you haven't had much time to spend on your own needs, your domestic situation or the needs of people close to you, you may be asked to do so over the next couple of weeks. But there's such an electrifying set of energies at the moment, not least in the sign of Gemini, which are pushing you to change things up and a sense of anticipation about where it may all lead. But if you aren't really feeling it when it comes to whatever contact you're having with the world, it's not really feeding your soul in quite the way you would like, and with Mars in your 12th house, making you a bit more conscious of who you can really trust or not, this may be a time to actually just stop a little bit and just consider your options. Well, one of the great things I like about your ruler Venus in that conjunction with Uranus is that I feel that some kind of new information provider, a life coach, someone you find inspirational, can enter your situation over the next couple of weeks and give you enormous insights in how you can guide any kind of transformation or transition you may be considering. But if you're really enjoying what you're doing and it feels good, I think you're going to sail through this particular full moon pretty well indeed. Please join me at my new website at patrickarundell.com. You can download your amazing free natal chart and brilliant interpretation. You can enjoy the 3 card tarot. You can also sign up for your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning. Please see the link below for more. So Scorpio, you've got a lot of talking to do over the next couple of weeks. Could be passionate at times. It could be enthusiastic. It may be that you're going to explore lots of information or options. You may be considering something to do with higher education, relocation, a job linked to travel or moving around. And all of that can really be very, very life affirming. It's just that with your modern ruler Pluto in your 4th house, this may require you to go with something and really go with something in quite a dynamic way. And part of the reason for this is that your traditional ruler Mars is supporting you very strongly at this time. Because you're a fixed sign, you do have a little bit of a contradiction to your nature, because I think when things change for Scorpios, they can do so after a long period of stability. But when they do change, they can change very radically and very quickly. So whether you're discussing a romantic situation, a business idea, a personal interest, a travel plan, a new mode of transport, it could all happen very, very fast, and it could happen over the next 2 weeks. But I think you will be the person who's driving things on. The main thing to take from this particular full moon is to make sure that whatever information you gain is tested, you're really sure of it, and you're confident it will work for you if you're going to base any big decisions on it. Please join me at my new website at patrickarundell.com. You can download your amazing free natal chart and brilliant interpretation. You can enjoy the 3 card tarot. You can also sign up for your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning. Please see the link below for more. So Sagittarius, the 2nd house full moon in the, let's face it, conservative sign of Capricorn, could see you thinking cautiously about resources, particularly the ins and outs that go on. That's a natural thing each year. But we need to be conscious of your ruler Jupiter, which is pretty close to the Sun, about 9 degrees away, but more importantly is forging a great semi-sextile to Venus. So the 2 planets of fortune, lesser and greater benefits in Venus and Jupiter, are collaborating well. So if you have an electric connection to someone over the next couple of weeks, and it's someone who you feel your values align to, but also energetically you feel drawn to, even though you're such a freedom-loving person, you may find yourself with a moment of passion that comes from this full moon, which really can make your pulse race. Now, because Uranus is aligned with Venus, it might not be for the long term, but equally it could be a time when you reignite the passion in an existing relationship. But one of the things to be mindful of is Mars, the planet of assertion, is in a very dominant part of your scope. It's actually linking very well to this event, and you can use Mars in a constructive way if you're doing something in terms of trying to invest or marshal your resources carefully. Your ability to take on the responsibility is strengthened. But I would also say that in an existing relationship, if something isn't quite working between you and a partner, try to stay cool, because it may just be with a little bit more time that things will fall into place. Now, your gift for knowledge is definitely going to be highlighted by Uranus and Venus being together. You could also encounter someone over the next couple of weeks who can share information with you, but because you're receptive, that's why it will work. So if you're single, there could be a wonderful, a very energetic and magnetic connection through this full moon. There may be the need to just have a look at finances and trim them up a little bit. You could find yourself feeling a little bit more speculative, but I would just be cautious with Saturn about to go retrograde in your 5th house of speculation. But your words definitely carry a great deal of power at the present time, and don't underestimate the energy that you're emanating and who and what that can pull towards you, whether it is in a personal romantic context or it is in terms of financial opportunities. Please join me at my new website at patrickarundell.com. You can download your amazing free natal chart and brilliant interpretation. You can enjoy the 3 card tarot. You can also sign up for your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning. Please see the link below for more. So Capricorn, each year when there is a full moon in your sign, it gives you an opportunity to think about your most significant connections. So over the next couple of weeks, how are those relationships going? If some of them are going very well, you could jet off somewhere glamorous with a good friend, a group of people, and it can be terrific fun. That's because of Mars aligning so constructively to this event, but also the North Node in your 3rd house of shorter journeys. But if a relationship isn't going so well, how do you approach that? Well, I think it's important to understand that the 7th house, where the Sun and Jupiter are where we also set our boundary. And it can be where we also need to be combative and compete. It's not just about relating, and relating also isn't in one direction. It's a give and take process, relationship. So it's something that goes between. So it could be that someone is going to make you more aware of how they feel about your style of relating. But there's a lot to gain, a lot of enlightenment to gain from this particular situation, particularly around your professional relationships. Because if you do feel that you've been taken a little bit for granted, the conjunction between Uranus and Venus can give you the diplomacy, but also perhaps the ability to cut through by using your communications in a very swift, but also smart and perhaps enlightened way, which just makes people think without it having to become a real arm wrestle. But in some situations, if a relationship really is bumping along the bottom, particularly with Mars in the 9th house and Saturn and Neptune being in your sector of emotions, you could find over the next couple of weeks that you would just prefer to have your own company. Please join me at my new website at patrickarundell.com. You can download your amazing free natal chart and brilliant interpretation. You can enjoy the 3 card tarot. You can also sign up for your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning. Please see the link below for more. So Aquarius, really interesting Capricorn full moon this year. It's a very psychological part of your chart. The 12th house can be the part of life or ourselves we're reluctant to look at. So our shadow side. It can also be because the Sun is in house 6, which can be about work, where there could be something manifesting where you feel that people are not being upfront with you, that there is a little bit of undercurrent, maybe politics going on, which can be really tough, because I feel that you're a sign which would much prefer people to say up front what their concerns are. But because your modern ruler Uranus is in such a glittering alliance with Venus now, your personal charisma can actually really be a great asset. And even if there are some people who you're not so sure of, some people who are draining you, there's going to be new people socially, perhaps even romantically, a new person coming into your world. So if you do feel that your energy is a bit low, that there's a lot of expectation, not a lot of appreciation, you felt a little depleted, just know that both your rulers are in an excellent alliance on this event, but particularly because Pluto is also in your sign and supporting Saturn and Uranus, and also Neptune and Venus, in a very constructive way called the Golden Triangle. So even if you have felt a little bit underpowered, a bit unsure about your professional situation or your obligations, or even, unsure about how to perhaps change some parts of your life, have absolute confidence that you've got everything in your locker to transform things in a very sparkling and dynamic way. Please join me at my new website at patrickarundell.com. You can download your amazing free natal chart and brilliant interpretation. You can enjoy the 3 card tarot. You can also sign up for your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning. Please see the link below for more. So Pisces, most of us enjoy a degree of playfulness, social interaction, having fun, the light and breezy stuff. But now Uranus has joined up with Venus in your 4th house, you could find yourself thinking a lot about where you live, but also your emotional connection to people. So as much as you may have a series of different friendships on Facebook, in your locality, through particular interests or hobbies you've got, I think having the connection to people that's really meaningful and very sincere is going to mean more to you over the next couple of weeks than ever before, not least because the point of destiny, the North Node in your sign, is pushing you to be a little more self-assured and confident about asking for what you need in terms of setting your intentions. But on the other side of the heavens, Mars is also encouraging you to set your boundaries and be firm if there are people around you who tend to, even though they may be lovely people, just drain your energy a little bit. So the electric combination of Uranus and Venus could see you invite some people around and make merry, and it could be great fun, but I feel they need to be people that every word actually really resonates with you. That may sound quite profound, but I think that's where it's at the moment, because you can diverge yourself in many different directions and have lots of different pursuits and friendships, but it's really at the moment the planets are asking you to focus down on what really, really matters to you. Please join me at my new website at patrickarundell.com. You can download your amazing free natal chart and brilliant interpretation. You can enjoy the 3 card tarot. You can also sign up for your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning. Please see the link below for more.